Alright, of course we could play any of the other modes for the fifth. We could play the Mixolydian fifth. We could go to the 3-key blues on the fifth. We could try pentatonics on the fifth. Okay, so let's stay in this part of the little chart here, chart within a chart. I fixed the chart back all the way through all the layers of backing up the charts, including Facebook and these free guitar chart videos, which the instructions to access the Facebook group are below this video. Please like and subscribe if you found this video, and watch the videos, and I'm sure they'll help you in your guitar tricks. So we've changed it back over to just blues magic key, which is one whole step below the root key of the blues. So I found that it's safe to play an Aeolian. It's just a little strange because when you consider the fifth a sixth now, because you're going to add one, because the blues magic key is a whole step below the root. So everything adds one. Root becomes the second, the fourth becomes the fifth, and the fifth becomes the sixth, which makes it Aeolian. How does that work? So if we have our groove, now let's listen to that fifth. Now we want the fifth to become the Aeolian, which means we're going to have to play an Aeolian off of the fifth here. So it'll be... Okay, so it'll be... One's going to become Dorian, right? Okay, so one is the 2-string shape. It just becomes the 2-string shape. When you begin a minor string shape from a 2, it becomes a Dorian. Okay, and then 4 is going to become Mixolydian because 4 becomes 5. And then of course the fifth. Okay, so there's your, actually that is an Aeolian pentatonic, which doesn't really exist, kind of thing, because an Aeolian pentatonic is let's see, we're going to be following the root pentatonic. It's just an inversion of the root pentatonic. Root 2, 3, 5, 6. First inversion is the D. Second inversion, third inversion. It's a fourth inversion of a 5-member scale. So it's just a fourth inversion. Root pentatonic is an Aeolian pentatonic. Okay, is that the same as, it's strictly speaking, we don't want to, the word Aeolian means a scale that starts on the 6th and ends on the 6th and is a diatonic scale. So it's not particularly right to do this. We want to play a diatonic scale there, so we go to the 5th. Now what are we going to do? We're going to start our build on a 6 now. 5 becomes the 6. I did that wrong, by the way. I went to the A, which is the 6th of the root. I'm not going to do that. We're going to go down here, calling the 5 a 6. When we start on a 6, here's our build. 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4. It's a G build. We all remember from previous lessons what a G build is. If we're up here, away from the fret nut, we can go ahead and go. There's our G diatonic, so it'll be. Here's our 7th. Want to do a long one, so we're not going to go past the finger. Okay, so it's 5, 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4. sorry. Okay, so that is our aioli, and it's sounding good. I don't know why I had to change that this morning. I wanted to do something different with the fifth. I wanted to give it a little more, a little more resolve. So I went like, a little more clarity. Let it surface a little bit. That was simply a Mixolydian, and we'll get to that. It's the Mixolydian fifth in the natural, but we're also going to play it in the 3-key blues where everything's Mixolydian. Oh my goodness. Well, when you look at the chord groove 1, 4, and 5, they're all dominant chords. So it's like a 3-key blues there. So let's just talk about the blues note. Is the only remaining, difficulty with the blues magic key. Now note, I have down here, this is very important, why is the blues note sound good? And what is the blues note? Blues note is the leading tone to the relative 6 minor of the magic blues key, where root goes to 2 mode. Okay, so it's the leading tone of the 6th minor. You see it all the time in like songs that go like, here's the leading tone. There's the root minor, the 6th of its parent. Okay, so that's why that's what the blues note is. If you wanted to know, is a blues note like a tritone or something? Is it a completely crazy note? No. The tritone, which is what, the F sharp in the key of C? It's that super augmented fourth. What that is it's certainly it's we have that in the key of C. That's our Lydian fourth right there. But the reason why it sounds so good, I think, is because it is the leading tone of the relative 6th minor of the magic blues key. Okay, so that the magic blues key, of course, once we've identified a key we can play in, of course, it has a relative minor, and the leading tone to that relative minor is the blues key that we're going to add in here. Okay, so let's look at blues magic. Let's look at groove C on 1, piano here, Dorian, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. Now, the 6th flat, okay, is going to be down here. And that is the leading tone to what? To this, which is the relative minor of the magic key. Alright, so that's just a little explanation of the blues note. Now we simply want to hit that blues note when we're doing our blues scale, Dorian. Now that's going to stay the same because all 3 of these now, for argument's sake, all 3 of these are going to be in the key of the blues magic. So we've got it as 6th flat, which is the 5th flat in the root key, because the root key is 1 above it. Okay, so that's where that note is. So it's like, okay, well, something always happening with the 5th there, but you're safe in aioli. And once again, where is that blues note? like I said, this isn't a lesson in tripentatonics. We've had a number of lessons in tripentatonics, but where to place that blues note, okay? If you treat each new shape as a root, okay? Now it's not always going to start on the root. It's not going to start on the root, but wherever that shape degree is, you call that the root, and then you can place these blues notes as you will, similarly as you count along. And the whole thing is, getting control of the count. What count am I in? And then you know where the note is. When you're on the 7, you're going to, you're on the 6, you're going to augment it for the flatted 7th, and that's a blues note. Okay, I didn't want to get into bending notes, but it's fun to get into it, and we should be getting our feet wet and bending notes. So let's look at the last column here. We're almost done. 3 key blues, all Mixolydian. What in the heck are we talking about here? We're going to just play Mixolydian scales, all 3 of them. It's really easy because the Mixolydian scales are just 3 whole note groups. It's an S3X extra long, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. That's a Mixolydian on F. A Mixolydian on G is, and then down here, because I'm down C tune. So that's easy, right? We're almost done. The thing is, where is the blues note when we're doing that? It would be